Hi everyone, good evening. आगे सारे मेरे हीरो. Quickly join in. Let's start with this. Good evening, Kushambi. So what do we have today? एक बार फिर से हम फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स वापस शुरू करते हैं सब कुछ. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा कॉन्सेप्ट बाजी खेलते हैं. ठीक है ना. एंड जो हमारी कमियां पड़ रही हैं, द वंस दैट आर स्टिल अ प्रॉब्लम, लेट्स जस्ट कवर देम आउट. राइट. हाय ओम. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's see where do we stand. Okay, yeah. So whenever we talk about fill in the blanks, what all do we cover in that? The very first thing is going to be grammar portion. Okay, grammar portion, which is your syntax and structure. ठीक है, इस पे पहले काम करते हैं. This is your first question. Hi Tanvi, good evening. Only two people have answered yet. थोड़ा सा एक्टिव हो जाओ भाई. ठीक है, देखते हैं. The board of directors, despite the protest of the shareholders, dash determined to proceed with the merger. ठीक है, ऑप्शंस हैं were, was, have been, are. ठीक है. Now, what is to be seen out here? The very first thing, I'm going to write a verb out here. Fine. And that verb can be singular or plural. Fine. If that is the thought process, then I need to be very sure what is it written for. अब या तो ये शेयर होल्डर्स के लिए लिखा गया है, या ये प्रोटेस्ट के लिए लिखा गया है, या ये डायरेक्टर्स के लिए लिखा गया है, या फिर ये बोर्ड के लिए लिखा गया है. राइट. सो फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट, all those words that have preposition before them will not be your true subject, which means of, despite, right? These words They are simply telling me that they cannot be my, these words cannot be my true subject. Even then, directors is written, and after, before that, of is written, another preposition. So directors, protests, and shareholders, they cannot be my subject. What are we left with? We are left with board. What kind of noun is board? So you should know, you should remember that board is a collective noun, collective noun, and what else? It takes both singular or plural, right? Fine. So it takes either singular or plural depending upon what the board members are doing. Are they together, right? Are they not together? Fine. Are they doing the same thing? Fine. Is there any difference between them? So these are the things that you have to look into. So out here, the directors are together, right? And they are determined to proceed with the merger, which means like everyone is on the same page, and therefore it should be treated as singular. So keeping that in mind, the right answer will be B. Fine, easy. Let's move on to the next one. Rarely dash such a significant discovery. Okay, fine. Career. Hi Shyam. Okay, Tanvi has given her answer. Shonin has given his answer. Kushambi has given her answer. Okay, fine. So everyone says B. Om says B. Fine. Let's see whether it is right or wrong. Rarely dash such a significant discovery in the field of something something. Now the important part out here is rarely. Okay. What is rarely? Rarely, hardly, scarcely, barely, seldom. All these words, right? All these words are negative adverbs, right? If there is a negative adverb before your sentence, plus sentence, if this is the scenario, okay, always remember, very good Om, this is an emphatic sentence, yes, fine. Okay, so whenever there is such kind of a sentence, you must remember that the sentence has to be written in the form of V plus S, where V cannot be the main verb, it has to be the helping verb. Okay, what are the helping verbs? Is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, the modals, right? And if the modals or any of these helping verb are not present already, then you have to use do, did, or does. So this is the scenario. If this is the scenario, how do I go about with this? Mm, I need helping verb. Is an a helping verb? No. Does? Yes, it is. And? No. So A and C are simply removed. We are left with does and did, right? Both of them are helping verbs. So why do I take did or why do I take does? So look at this part. Not, the sentence does not tell me whether it is to be seen in a present or past. Okay. So what is the other way of going about? Look at this part. We have got does written out here and then there is make. We know that with do, did, and does, when they are used as helping verb, the main verb has to be in V1 form. V1 form means V1 form means the root form, okay? Also called as, in this case, it would be called as bare infinitive, okay? So make is bare infinitive. This is definitely bare infinitive. D part says did an individual made. Now made out here is not your V1, right? So this is not V1, and if it is not V1, whatever the form is, it cannot be my answer. So the only answer which is possible is B. Very good, guys. Okay, let's move ahead. And I'm happy that you remember the emphatic sentences. Third, three people have answered. Let's see what is the right answer. One says C, the other two say A. Let's see. The CEO's resignation was not because of fine lack of interest dash a desire to pursue philanthropic ventures, right? Keeping that in mind, let us remove something. But rather means what? On the other hand, fine. So it is not about this, about this, fine. So this is on the other hand. I cannot remove it right now. Than is used in comparison. Okay, Gaurav also says C. Let's see. Than is used in comparison. Are we doing any kind of comparison in the sentence? No, right? So B part goes away. What is C? However. However is used for contradiction. I'm not contradicting anything, right? Am I? It says CEO's resignation was not because of this, but because of that. Something like that, right? So however is not possible out here because however says even though this was happening, even then that did not happen or something like that. So C part goes away, right? D says instead a desire. Now instead could have been a good option out here. Fine, CEO's resignation was not because of a lack of interest, but the problem is the right correlative that is going to be the conjunction that should be used out here is not instead, The right answer will be but rather. Why is it rather? Because it is basically comparing two things, right? And it is saying this instead of that. Fine. So I would rather do this. Fine. So that's why we have to take this. Moreover, mm, yeah. So that is why instead is not possible, though it is quite close. But the better answer out here is but rather. ठीक है. वल्लभ सॉरी भाई. ठीक है. गौरव चेक करो, बताओ समझ में आया? ओम समझ में आया? अच्छा, मोर ओवर एक और चीज़ है इसमें जिससे कि आप आराम से पकड़ सकते हो. अगर मेरे को ए और कैन बट एंड रादर बी यूज टुगेदर. यस तन्वी, वी कैन डू दैट. ठीक है. अच्छा, मेरे को एक चीज़ बताओ, एक और कोई रीज़न बताओ ए और डी में. वाई शुड आई चूज ए एंड नॉट डी? what is the other reason? Is there any grammatical reason out here? अरे नहीं नहीं वल्लभ, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. रोने का नहीं बाबा. टेल मी. Yes, there is a strong rule. What is that? Instead जब भी आएगा तो instead के बाद क्या लगेगा? Instead comes across with of. Instead of me, not instead me. So it has to come across with of, right? We don't have of out here, तो instead तो वैसे ही नहीं आ सकता because यहाँ पर भी of नहीं दे रखा, right? So that's why D part can not come in any way. So the right answer is A. ठीक है? Okay. Fourth, I hope you people keep on writing these rules. The efficiency of the new engine is far superior dash that of the previous model. Okay, Tanvi has given her answer. Okay, fine. इस क्वेश्चन में इतना टाइम कैसे लग सकता है? ये क्वेश्चन तो बहुत आसान होना चाहिए ना. Why? Look at this. What is written is far superior dash that of previous model, which clearly shows that there is a what comparison. ठीक है ना? And whenever we are talking about comparison, what is the most important part in that? When we are doing comparison, if the word which kind of word? If the word comes across with IOR ending, okay, such as superior, anterior, posterior, prior, and whatever. Always remember, with this kind of a word, we'll always use to. There is no other option. ठीक है ना? इसके साथ क्या यूज हो सकता है? टू ही यूज हो सकता है. एंड देयरफॉर व्हाट इज टू बी डन? दैन, टू, फ्रॉम, ओवर. क्या करें इसमें से? द ओनली आंसर इज टू. ठीक है, लेट्स मूव ऑन. फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन. G. Do the question. Question number 5. Having finished the report. Okay, Om has given his answer. What about the rest? Hmm. चलो ठीक है चेक करते हैं. Having finished the report. Now look at this part. Very important. This part is an incomplete sentence, right? So what is it? It's more of a phrase kind of a thing, right? But other than that, it is one more thing. It is talking about something. Having finished the report. So, having finished the report, who can finish the report? Computer has finished the report. It has removed. It has finished the report. Analyst has finished the report, or sense of relief has finished the report. Who has? The analyst, right? This is a clear case of modifiers. Okay, modifiers. Okay. So modifiers. The basic rule about modifiers is what? That what is it? Analyst. Yes, Kushambi. Very good. Okay. So modifiers should always come next to the word it modifies, or we can say talks about. ठीक है ना? So keeping that in mind, which is the word this part is modifying? Having finished the report. So some person must have finished the report. The only option is C part is the right answer. ठीक है ना? Yes, Om. Very good. You have changed your answer. अच्छा किया. Good. Vallabh, your answer is correct. Very good. तन्वी समझ में आया? बताओ बच्चे. Okay. Good. Now the next type of question is based on vocabulary. Now this is the most. This is that part where our marks actually go away. ठीक है ना? So if you don't know how to go about with this, what would you do? You would simply not attempt the question. Okay, let's see. Is it difficult? ठीक है. DC. Okay, Tanvi is a bit confused. Which one would it be? Whether it is going to be DC. Okay, fine. Let's see. What does it say? The diplomats dash remarks. So some kind of remarks they were. Okay. During the summit, inadvertently reignited a long-standing border dispute. Fine. Inadvertently means something which was not willingly, not supposedly, or something which was not openly, but indirectly it was doing something. Okay, fine. On the other hand, reignited a long-standing border dispute. So his remarks has to be negative. Now, if you look at this word felicit, and word we have heard of a word felicitation, which is a positive word, which means be is a positive word, right? Meticulous, metric, all these words are towards positive, and therefore this part also goes away, right? Because this is positive. So we are left with two negative words. One is innocuous, and the other is incautious. Look at them. Okay. So which one would it be? Would it be innocuous or incautious? So innocuous, what does it mean? Innocuous is nocu. Nocu is um, something which is harmful. Okay, so harm means nocu because knock means night and death, deathly or something like that, dark or something like that, right? So knock is negative, but what is written across in means without. So without the danger. So which means if there is something which is without danger, what is it? It is harmless. So overall, though it looks like negative, but it also means positive out here. So three positive, one has to be negative because I have to have that answer. So the right answer is incautious. Easy going, right? Okay. जल्दी से मीनिंग्स देख लेते हैं. What is innocuous? Innocuous means uh, something which is harmless. Harmless. What is felicitous? Felicitous is well suited or chosen. Fine. Next is incautious. What is incautious? No. Incautious. Cautious is someone who is very, what do you say? Uh, Cautious about things, which means aware. So if I say incautious, again, कैसा होगा? Not aware, unaware. Unaware of what is happening around him. Okay. Meticulous. So if something is meticulous, what would that mean? So it would be attention, attention to details. Fine. Okay. अब देखकर बताओ इसके हिसाब से क्या हो सकता है. So incautious is the only word which is negative, and thus it has to be my answer. Easy as that. Yeah. Seventh. Too good. Very good. So, guys, you gave this answer, but my question is, do you know all the words or you judge something? Tanvi, Shonen, yes, as in, you know the words. Okay, fine. Give me the meaning of all the words. What does it mean, profound? Enigmatic, superficial, and poignant. The sentence talks about depth, and later novel must be opposite to superficial. Must be opposite. Okay. Critics argued that the novelist's latest work was too lacking the emotional depth, lacking the emotional depth of her earlier books, which means I need a what kind of word do I need? I need a positive or a negative. So I need a negative word, right? If I need a negative word, then which are the words I can actually remove? Profound is a neutral word. Enigmatic is a negative word. Not necessarily. Enigmatic is like, again, it is a neutral word. Superficial is definitely a negative word. Poignant is, again, it's a neutral word. Fine. So the only option that is possible is superficial. Okay. So let's see quickly. What is profound? Profound is something which is very deep or intense. And for obvious reason, profound cannot be my answer because it is clearly stated lacking emotional depth, which means profound cannot be my answer. A is go. A is not working. Now let's come across to the next part, B part, which says enigmatic. What exactly is enigmatic? Something which is mysterious. Fine. So lacking emotional depth and then mysterious, they do not align, right? Mysterious, if something is mysterious, there might be no use of emotion or there might be usage of emotion. We cannot talk about that. So B part definitely cannot be aligned to this, cannot be associated to this. What is superficial? Superficial is something which is only an artificial, something which is artificial, right? um, Only an artificial presence, not too deep, yeah, not deep at all, something like that, right? And poignant means something which is sad or regretful. Fine. So keeping all these in mind, which is the one we would go across with? We would go across with superficial, because poignant can be taken as a positive or a negative thing, right? But superficial is definitely negative, and therefore that is our answer. Fine. Hi Thala. Okay, let's go across to the next one. Eighth one. Deep superficial only on the surface, not so deeply. Okay, enigmatic means mysterious, poignant, which evokes sadness. Oh, good, Tanvi. Hey Darsh, क्या बात है? क्या हाल है? Okay, so Tanvi has given the answer. The rest, quick, quick, quick. So what is exactly tenuous? It means something which is very weak. Okay. Incontrovertible. What is incontrovertible? Something that can't be disputed. Okay. How? In means without. Contro means controversy or contrast, going against, opposite, right? Able. So not worth or not able to go against. Fine. Can't be disputed. Circumstantial means what? Facts, right? And then we have got ambiguous, which means confusing. Right. So keeping this sentence as, despite the dash evidence presented by the prosecution, the jury struggled to reach a unanimous verdict. So what would be? Okay. Hmm. Tanvi says B. Omkar says B. Okay. Why not C? See what really happened out here. Despite the evidence presented by the prosecution, fine. So the prosecution came across with an evidence, okay, and despite something about it, so something means it can be either weak or it can be strong, something like that, okay. The jury struggled to reach a unanimous verdict, but they had a big problem, fine. They had big problem to reach the solution to it, fine. So when can that be? When it is weak or strong? So first thing first, I am very sure that it cannot be ambiguous, because if it is ambiguous, why would they struggle in giving unanimous verdict, right? So in sense, confusing होगा तभी तो struggle कर रहे होंगे. Then I don't need the word despite out there, right? Because despite is talking about the opposite thought process, right? So ये नहीं हो सकता. What is the next thing? तो वीक भी नहीं हो सकता, बिकॉज अगर वीक एविडेंस है तो फिर तो इट इज़ वेरी इजी टू गिव अक्रॉस द थिंग, राइट. नाउ वी हैव गॉट इनकंट्रोवर्टिबल एंड सर्कमस्टेंशियल, विच वन हियर मस्ट बी स्ट्रॉन्ग. ओके ओंकार, टेल मी स्ट्रॉन्ग. एज पर स्ट्रॉन्ग, देन व्हाट शुड इट बी? डिस्पाइट भी तो लिखा है. या दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड कि हम क्या करेंगे दर्श, हम नेगेटिव वाले हटा देंगे, राइट. यहाँ पे स्ट्रॉन्ग वाला लिखना पड़ेगा, राइट. समथिंग स्ट्रॉन्ग आउट हियर. And even after the strong evidence was given across, the jury struggled to reach a unanimous. ठीक है ना? Yes. Oh. Okay, fine. So which one would it be? हमारे पास B और C दे रखा है, कौन सा लें? Now, when I say circumstantial facts, it's actually a neutral thought process. It only means that as per the circumstance जो मेरे को facts मिल रहे हैं, ठीक है ना? But I need a better word because it is saying that now circumstantial evidence can be a bit confusing as well, right? हो सकता था. But the problem out here is, yes, Darsh. If I say incontrovertible, then it is totally clear. It is actually associating to the thing. How? We can say, despite the evidence, what kind of evidence? That cannot be disputed. Fine. No one can go against it. No one can uh, say anything against it, right? Presented by the prosecution, and such was given across by the prosecution. The jury struggled to reach a unanimous verdict. Even after that, the jury could not come across to a unanimous verdict, which means unanimous means what? Unanimous means that everyone talking about the same thing, everyone coming to the same point. Fine. So that's why, which is better? The right answer is B. The better answer is B. Okay. Yep. Anyone with answer? The city's infrastructure is dash, struggling to support the rapid influx of new residents. DA, okay. ठीक है. So everyone says D. Okay, why is that? Let's see. Burgeoning. What is burgeoning? It means something which is growing. Nascent is something that has started. Fine. Something that has just started, something that has taken birth, something which is origin in the origin phase. Fine. Resilient. What does that mean, resilient? So it is able. What is it? So when you able to tolerate, you would get resilient. Also, resilient is someone who would bounce back, right? So Gen Z word bounce back. Last part, decrepit. What is decrepit? Something which is worn out, especially with time. Okay. So keeping that in mind, if I say the city's infrastructure is dash, so it can be growing, yes. Is nascent, I can even say that, yes. Resilient, able to tolerate, bounce back, ओके ठीक है जी. Decrepit, burnout, ये भी हो सकता है. तो देखा जाए तो ये सारे वर्ड्स आ सकते हैं, ठीक है ना. द सिटीज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज डैश, आगे कह रहा है स्ट्रगलिंग टू सपोर्ट. सो स्ट्रगलिंग से सपोर्ट मतलब इसका मतलब क्या क्या नहीं हो सकता, व्हाट ऑल कैन नॉट बी. It cannot be resilient because it cannot struggle. It is struggling, which means that it is not ready to tolerate, is not prepared to bounce back. ठीक है ना. सी पार्ट खत्म हो गया. स्ट्रगलिंग टू सपोर्ट द रैपिड इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ न्यू रेजिडेंट्स. इसका मतलब न्यू रेजिडेंट्स आ रहे हैं तो पुराने रेजिडेंट्स भी होंगे, विच मीन्स इट इज डेफिनेटली नॉट नेसेंट, एंड सो बी पार्ट ऑल्सो गोज अवे. ठीक है. बर्जियोनिंग इज ग्रोइंग विच इज अ पॉजिटिव वर्ड. तो हमें तो पॉजिटिव नहीं चाहिए, हमें नेगेटिव चाहिए. सो द ओनली वर्ड दैट इज लेफ्ट इज डिक्रिपिट, विच मीन्स वर्न आउट विद टाइम. देख लेते हैं. सिटीज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज what has happened to it. It is wearing out with time, है ना. It has worn out with time. Struggling to support the rapid influx. ठीक है. तो ये basic thought process. ठीक है. Okay, increasing genesis able to cope. Fine. So the right answer is D. Very good. 10th. Okay, remember one thing. This should be an as well as a. Okay, keep both of them option. Let's read the sentence. The sentence says, he was a or an dash reader, often consuming 3 full novels in a single weekend. तो हम क्या दिखा रहे हैं? Apathetic, intermittent, voracious, fastidious. B, C, 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 C. Okay, so many of different answers. Right. Let's come back to this. When I say apathetic means what? Without feeling. Find emotionless. And if I say emotionless, does it work with the sentence? He's an emotionless reader? No. Intermittent. What does it mean, intermittent? Irregular, right? Or something which is happening in some intervals, right? So the frequency is not clear out here, not regular. So if he is not a regular reader, how would he consume 3 full novels in single week? So definitely B is not an answer. Let's go to C. What does C say? C says voracious. What does it mean, voracious? So voracious is someone like mm, eating Of course, or can be plenty of things. Eating a lot, fine, or have a big appetite, fine. Okay, fastidious is a person who's very attentive. Attentive about what? Okay, so attentive. Now tell me which one would I go across with? Cannot be apathetic, cannot be intermittent. We have got either way. He is a voracious reader, which means like he has a big appetite for reading, or we are saying he's attentive reader. Now, attentive reader does not mean has to be a uh, quick reader. So D part does not work out here. C is the right answer, which means like voracious reader means reads a lot. Okay, मैंने just and देख कर भी दे दिया but अगर ए होता तो obviously okay. ठीक है दर्श. Eats and eats and eats. Yes. Okay, आगे चलते हैं. Third part, what is it? It's about phrasal. हाँ जी. Okay, so we have got C and a D. That's it. The legal team decided to dash the contract once the breach was discovered. Once the breach was discovered. Now, let us see what does it mean when I say back out of. Back out of means what? Withdraw. Fine. Withdraw. Especially from a commitment. Look down on means to look with contempt. Fine. To look down on someone means I'm looking at the person with contempt. I do not regard him. I do not respect him. Come up with means what? to produce an idea. Last one, fall through with. What does it mean, fall through? Fall through means to fail. To fail to happen. Fine. Keeping that in mind, what would you suggest? Now tell me. And yes, Koshambi, your answer is correct. The right answer, of course, can be nothing else. They cannot look down on the contract. है ना, वो ये नहीं कह सकते ओहो डिसरिगार्ड नहीं शो करेंगे. सो बी पार्ट नॉट वर्किंग, कम अप विद एन आइडिया नहीं हो रहा है वंस द ब्रीच वॉज डिस्कवर्ड. ठीक है, तो ये भी नहीं हो पा रहा है. सी पार्ट, उन्होंने कहा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में से वो निकल जाएंगे अगर उसमें क्या हो गया, ब्रीच मिला तो. ब्रीच मीन्स व्हाट, दैट द अदर पार्टी डिड नॉट कीप हिज एंड ऑफ द डील. तो उसमें क्या आ गया, ब्रीच आ गया. ब्रीच अगर आ गया तो वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से क्या करेंगे, दे वुड विदड्रॉ. एंड देयरफॉर द राइट आंसर हैज टू बी ए. ठीक है, फाइन. सो विल कंटिन्यू विद द फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. ठीक है, प्लीज़ प्रैक्टिस करते रहिए. एंड वी हैव टू मेक श्योर किसी भी हालत में मुझे मार्क्स चाहिए. ठीक है, और आपको भी चाहिए ऑफ कोर्स, क्योंकि आप तभी मार्क्स लाओगे तो तभी आपका कॉलेज होगा. तो कीप दैट इन माइंड एंड कीप ऑन वर्किंग ऑन दिस. ठीक है, सो अंटिल नेक्स्ट टाइम, टेक केयर एंड बाय बाय.